Yeah, that's his first memory. That's, yeah. In season 2, Mike mentions this exact scene. Oh yeah, then they first he makes a drawing and they made castle bias. Their parents had a fight, therefore they built the castle bias. They stayed up all night, and it was raining as well, right? According to Jonathan's story, and they both got sick after it. This flashback scene before Will realizes about himself and gets powers was one of the most important scenes of season number 5, volume 2, and now we are going to break it down because almost all of the scenes that we saw in the flashback were already mentioned in the second season of Stranger Things. You remember this scene where Will was trying to communicate with all the others with the help of a Morse code, where all of the others were narrating their stories to him. This scene had these 3 stories told by Joyce, Mike and Jonathan, and these all 3 stories were featured in this scene that we saw in the 5th season, episode number 4. So the first scene of the flashback is in the kindergarten, which was narrated by Mike. So Mike says that was the first day of kindergarten. I was very scared and I saw you alone swinging on your swing, and I just came up to you and it was the best decision of my life. Then we get a scene where they find a D&D for the first time, it looks like. Now this is the only scene which didn't have a mention in the second season. In the third scene, Will draws a spaceship and he calls it a rainbow spaceship, and this was a scene which was narrated by Joyce in the second season. The final scene was of Castle Bias. Now we all know Castle Bias holds a very important place in all the Stranger Things' fans' heart, and definitely it has a very special place in the heart of Will as well. Now there is one thing which is kind of different than the story which was narrated by Jonathan about the Castle Bias in season 2. He mentions that when Dad left, we made this Castle Bias just as the way that you drew it, and while making it took so much time because you were very bad at hammering, you missed all the nails, and then it started raining, but we just had to finish it, and eventually we kind of got sick for a week after that. Now in the flashback we can spot that Will drew this castle bias and then they started to make this castle bias, but we don't see any rain here and we don't even see Will hammering, so that's a bit of difference. But we can definitely ignore the nailing part, and we can also ignore the rain part because in this scene we don't see the castle bias completely formed. Anyways, those are all the 3-4 scenes that we saw here, and it was really great that they really made a callback to the second season where we talked about all of the good memories of Will Byers, and definitely these all 3 were the most cherished memories or the most happy memories of Will, which really got him close to his powers, which really got him take over the hive. And if you think the powers of Will are exactly similar as Eleven and Vecna, you might be mistaken there because his powers are completely different, and I've explained his powers in this video, so don't forget to check it out. And as always, thank you so much for watching.